So before we add water, I had realized I had been on a few other owners' boats, brand new Leopard catamarans, and when we filled the tanks up brand new, we noticed that there was tiny little pieces of fibrous type of plastic. Maybe it's a bad assumption on my part, but I think where it's coming from is that when these tanks are made in the factory, not the Leopard factory, but whoever makes these tanks for Leopard, and they cut these holes, holes here, you end up with some small, tiny little pieces of plastic that are all over on the inside of the tank. I noticed when we filled up one of the owner's tanks that there were all these little pieces of plastic that were floating on the surface. And what ends up happening is that as you're using water inside, whether you're running water in one of the heads, if you have fresh flush toilets, or you're using water in the galley, eventually it will look like the water is starting to flow slower, and it's because these tiny pieces of plastic are working their way through the water lines, and then it's clogging the faucet head. And so what I thought I would do before we ever fill our tanks on our boat is that I want to take a hose, rinse lightly on the inside of the tank just to wet it down and get all these pieces of plastic to then go to the bottom of the tank, and then I'll use a wet and dry vac and vacuum all of that stuff out. Inside our tanks there were also some tiny little pieces of, I don't know, they almost look like little pebbles or some kind of dark little stones. I have no idea where that came from, but we're going to vacuum all that out. So like scummy stuff floating on top of the water. I don't know. Adios, bad water.
Some solvents.
We have a 75-foot hose here that is for drinking water. Our boat is 45 feet long, so you do want to make sure that you end up getting a hose that's going to be long enough to reach your water source, wherever the shore water is going to be. Presumably you're pulled into a boat slip, into a marina and near the fuel docks. You're going to want a hose long enough that's going to be able to reach the length of the boat and also off onto the dock to get to the water spigot. So we're running water through a drinking water hose, and in our case we want to make sure that what we put into our tanks is clean. So we're going to run this shore water into this double filtration system. This one is made by Hydrolife, but there's all kinds of them. You can find them on Amazon, look them up online. But we're going to run the water through here so that it's filtered, and then on the tail end of this you would put a short feeder line, and then this will go right into the water tank. So this stage of cleansing is this would be the water that you're showering with, washing hands, brushing teeth. So we just want to make every effort to make sure that we have clean water on board, and then the drinking water will be filtered even once again at the galley. So anyway, we just thought we'd pass that on, and that's it from Dania Beach.
first step was to wipe down all the surface where the track is going to be installed, because we use a tape that's called 3M, and that will help Vlad when he installs it to keep it in place. So for this project, we're using Costa Track. Costa Track is a rigid track, has little flexibility, but for this project it should be okay because we don't have sharp angles.
Yeah.
So it'll be able to, we have to heat it and we're going to bend it.
Oh, so you're going to take this?
Yep. We're going to wrap it around.
Oliver, are you helping?
Kind of. I help with the tape measure. It smells like
Yeah.
So you slide the rope with it. We have zipper,
Yeah.
and the glass has the other
Half of the zipper.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So
Oh,
the
that's
top
right.
of your
Okay.
panel has one sewn rope track,
Yep.
and then your bottom is a zip-off type.
Yep.
Okay, so once Vlad finishes with all the patterning, we're going to take it to our shop, and we'll lay it flat on our large table. And this is where he's going to make now his markings, like connecting, you know, the lines or any guide that he might put on the pattern is now going to get put in real on the table, you know, with a good fine pen and stuff like that.
So you can see the lines right here. That'll be a line for a zipper. This lovely piece of artwork right here designates that there will be a smiley face, what's called a smile or U window that'll be able to be unzipped and rolled up.
Pins always help because that, you know, makes it when you're attaching one plastic to the other, we keep the pins that way. If it's on the truck, it doesn't come undone.
Oh, yeah.
So that keeps it all together.
This one looks more like he's sticking his tongue out.
So this is like the old-fashioned way of doing an enclosure.
Yeah.
Now, in days, and hopefully next year we could implement, we're going to go digital.
All of this is white.
All this is
Oh, that's white. Okay.
And then up to where?
Glass. Yes, we're gonna put it around here, zipper,
Awesome.
and glass here.
How's everybody doing? So far. And you saw that picture yesterday of the kind of the doorway at the helm?
Yes. Yes.
Does it seem complicated?
No. Vlad retweaked the pattern this morning.
Yeah.
Glass. This is a strip, and
Yeah.
this is glass. This would be your opening for your air, so you don't have to roll the whole thing up because this is big and heavy.
This is the...
The roof.
Oh, that's already the roof. Okay, so this is literally the door panel at the helm.
Mm-hmm.
And from here down to the ground or the deck would be fabric. Okay. Are you working on our cushion by chance? Yeah?
That's Gary.
Oh, Gary's back there. Hi, Gary.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right.
Is it okay if I come back here?
Yeah.
So is this the type of foam that goes into our...
Yes. That's draper.
Yeah, it's really porous. It feels like it just, water will go right through it.
That's right.
These are ours?
Yeah.
Wonder which one is this. This looks, is this the helm?
The patterns are inside. Yeah.
Oh, it's in there. Okay, well, we'll figure it out later. Yeah, that's got to be a pretty strong needle.
Oh yeah. No,
Do you hand cut into all the...
oh yeah.
That's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it has to. Everything I do is exact. But
But it's nice to have the tag on there. It's really nice.
there's a thing,
These make
you
it
know,
easier.
that they say your product is judged by the way the label is sold.
Yeah, well, it looks this looks quite lovely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
this is 50, and this is 70 firm. You have these? So it'll be good for you to sit on. This firm.
Oh,
And this is considered
wow.
medium firm.
We have to pick one of these two.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Kids will like to sit on that.
Oh yeah. They're you know what they're gonna
They
do?
like to
They'll be
twist.
bouncing up and down. It's like no. It's not.
I don't need to have that back, so you could toss it when you're.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I can. I look like this, right? You guys see?
Yep.
All right, here we are. The team from Creative Canvas has started the installation of the enclosures, which is looking quite fantastic. Unwrapping the brand new cushions. So these are the snaps that we will. So we take this and then you guys add a snap to the.
The start, we are the start. So you keep that there. That's one position. The other one is, and you turn this. So it's not hanging. The other one is this. Now, I would suggest not to read this too often because it can have imprints on the glass. It's a little hard, but it stays there. And when you pull it, you have to pull it from the front here and same go towards back. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Awesome.
Same. Yes, and this we connect here the same. You have to roll it from.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
You thought about everything.
Somebody else did it before me. I copied it.
You borrowed it.
You mean you're not inventor?
No, I'm copying.
We just found out this morning that the main skylight here has some crazing on it, which is kind of like a little spider web action between, if I'm explaining this correctly, I'm sure somebody else that knows better will correct me, but it seems to be between the plates of the this plexiglass, and it's so hard to see right now because I have the shade closed downstairs, or sorry, inside the salon. But what's going to have to happen, and Just Cats is here to kind of try to fast track this. This entire, I don't know what this is, 10 feet of plexiglass is going to have to be removed, and it is definitely a process to remove this. They have to slowly pull it up, section by section, cut it clear, and then keep taking it out. This entire thing is supposed to be a 8 to 10 day process. Thankfully it's covered under warranty, and Leopard is standing to their warranty, which is fantastic to see. Thank you. And so this is going to get fixed. So more to come. All right, so we've made some progress here. You can see Kenny has started to remove this thing. It's actually, to this point, come out pretty fast. And you can see how it's all being removed here. So all the caulking, you can see the caulking there that holds this in place. Actually doesn't look like there's that much of it, to be honest, through here, but it does hold it in place. So now the challenge is, so this is the part obviously that you could see in the salon, right? Let me back up here, and you can see right? So there is the entire skylight. This front section is what Kenny has already removed or loosened up. And so he's worked his way all the way back to this section here. Now the challenge comes in as there's, I don't know, another 3 feet of this glass up on the hardtop, which you obviously cannot access here. So this is where it's going to get difficult, and it slows down in the removal process. So hopefully this is the only time I see a big hole in the top of our boat. This is all the new caulking being put down in preparation to install the new Skylight.
All right, if you can just hold it in the middle here.
On the edges?
Yeah, like this, like I'm doing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set it down, but it's just kind of follow my direction because we got to get it lined up before we set it down for good. So if you can just hold your end up off the caulking while I get mine started. Pretty good here. Okay. You can let yours down slowly. I got it right here. You can let go.
Letting go?
Yep. You can let go.
Let me get out of the way.
Okay, Angel. Gracias, you know. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Beautiful, man. And I'm gonna set some weights on here and leave them. Good boy.
See, it's like jewelry. Look at that. Look at the bling bling.
See, you can hear it when they don't have a bolt.
Yeah.
If I hit it over here,
Yeah.
solid as a rock.
Yeah.
We have in school, see that?
Yeah.
That seals everything. That thing gets hard as a rock.
I know.
Yeah, I think it
That's
gets hard as a
Sikaflex?
rock. Huh?
That's a Sikaflex, one of the different Sikaflex
That's
products.
the best. That's the best compound that's available.
295 UV.
Yeah, that's the best compound they will get hardened. Don't get hardened like in 2-3 hours. They get hardened. And when they get hard, you need the razor blade to scrape it off from the boat.
Wow.
Okay, so this is your new battery monitor. This one you can trust. So you're gonna keep it at that. But like it says on it, it's smart. Because it's smart, it's gonna try to learn a new cycle, but on its own.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to basically, like when we know we are full, you're gonna have to just teach it the value.
And how
The
do I do that?
the only time we know that is like when you have charged your batteries, either on generator or on shore power. You're gonna come here and you're gonna look. I mean, let's do something as well. Much better.
Now we can actually see it.
So when you look here, you're gonna see your thing here. This here doesn't matter that much. Flow charge, full charge, whatever.
Yeah.
But that number here is what's gonna matter.
Okay.
Which means that right now we are full, and the batteries are floating at 0 amps.
Okay.
So nothing goes into the batteries right now.
Okay.
So we know for a fact that we are 100% sure, 100% full. So when you do this, you go back on the app. This is what we need, so the percentage, which is the same as that. And then we're gonna go here onto the little wheel on the corner there. We're gonna go into battery, and then all the way at the bottom, state of charge to 100%, synchronized. We're gonna do that because we know that we are full up there.
Okay.
We're just doing this, and boom, we are at 100%. From there, it's going to calculate everything that comes in and out of it, plus and minus.
And how often do we have to synchronize it? Or why are we synchronizing it?
Because the thing is, like, it is a smart control, smart battery monitor.
So it's
and it's trying
monitoring
to
our
learn.
behaviors.
It's trying to learn the cycle on its own, because your battery state is going to change. Your battery state right now, you probably have the full capacity of it. But I mean, a year from now, you're gonna lose 10%.
Yeah. So at 590 and 575.
Yeah, and then this is where, so the indication is gonna be there. When you do the indication between this and that, more than likely you probably see this at 100% charging at 100 amp. You know that you're not full. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm giving you the extreme, but basically what you want to do is, like, you want to make sure that this is at 100 when this is at 0.
Okay.
Then we know we are fully charged, we synchronize it, and we know that the value we're looking at is true.
Okay.
So the percentage basically is the same as your phone. And that number should never go under 50%.
50.
50%.
Giving a good spray down. I guess this is a good water test on all the hatches. Actually, I want to do this. This is one of the things I'd like to do before we leave, is to take a hose and really douse all of the hatches just to double check for any leaks. It's not a crystal clear window here. That's because there is a black mesh screening on the outside that diffuses the heat of the direct impact of the sun and kind of reflects and keeps the heat, or helps keep the heat out. So you always want to err on the side of keeping things cool. It's always easy to warm things up, so to speak. Captain Richard has arrived.
Oh my goodness. You guys are too much.
What's the little care package? Oh,
You are too much.
Corona.
Well, thank you so